its own episode. And I've started recording in 60 FPS because I don't wanna tab out. I'm pretty sure if I go in that building and then come out, I think these guys respawn then. Which I don't want. Maybe I can get a stun on this guy.
It's one of them! That one's mine!
Oh, come on. There we go. Thanks for the shotgun shells. A large box of pills. 12 bullets, 2 shotgun shells, nice, nice. And a bottle of alcohol. Let's see, I think down. Okay, yes, that was extra blood. Oh, damn it, come on, attack. Nope. Damn it. There we go.
It's a leech trick!
I want to kill you with a bite. A used Peahc steak. A modern steak made of best alloy. Okay. This is a really good stun weapon, I guess. 15. Yeah, it is better. Report by Pembroke. Sir, having observed the Pembroke Hospital for 2 weeks now, and we can confirm vampire activity there. First, we now have proof of the presence of a female leech inside the hospital. The beast is clever. She acts like a mental patient to hide her true, unholy condition. I personally sneaked inside the hospital and heard the creature whining about her need for blood since her body is decaying. But it gets worse. The administrator of the Pembroke Hospital is Dr. Swansea. According to our team leader, Amanda Tilton, who died yesterday in a fight against a skull by the canal, he may be a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. If that's true, then there may be something big going on at the Pembroke. Maybe even a nest of vampires. Protected by those bloody traitors of the stole, We don't know what to do, but we are convinced you better come quickly with reinforcements and heavy gear. Alright, so I mean, I guess we got the letter before they sent it out. The Great Hunt. What? Oh, okay. Was it something like that? Here we go. Hail to our fallen comrades, hail to their bravery. Okay, something about the Brotherhood of Peahc. Ooh. Teleport up here. Let's just refill all. Oh, we already had everything full. Ergotamine. Let's see. Does ergotamine need for anything? No. So I think creating some of that is good enough. It's good. It's a good thing to do. A rusty box of pills. It has a low resale value, but I mean, look at what you get out of it. Nice. Yeah. I would want to do this, but because the sepsis one also requires that, I'm not doing that. A rookie. Let's see. I mean, I might as well just go back then, because I don't think there's much to gain from killing these guys, but let's do it anyways.
Die, vermin! Shit, that leech is fast!
Come on, attack. There we go, nice. I mean, I should really start learning how to parry the people and other people than just the guys with the with the torch. Okay, there's a large beast. So actually I want to try something. Can I get the large beast? Let's see. Okay, large beast, here I am. Come on.
Die, vermin! Dirty monster!
Yes! You can't trick them to fight each other. Okay, that's a named character right there. Roger the wall. Well, before I kill you guys, let me eat some rats.
This is despicable.
No. It's smart.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
I want to see if I get... Okay, I can't stun him. Okay. Oh. Nice. Oh, and I guess I automatically pick up certain stuff from that. Okay. That's weird. Why did I pick up those things from that guy? Oh. Holy shit. You are better than the other people with it. Nice. Alright. I'm starting to enjoy the combat a bit more now when it isn't just a completely one-sided affair like them against me. And there is a little bit more nuance to it. Okay, I can't enter. So I wonder, do these things like restock every time you sleep?
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take the tech away from you, Mum? A year. You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Let's talk to you.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Let's see. Personal questions. Let's ask about argument with Ackroyd.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Peahc. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
I don't know. I actually liked you, but I don't know. I think you're in the wrong here.
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Alright, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
No. Not any news that you would like to
Have you
hear.
heard talk of any blackmail here at the hospital?
No. Nothing.
Alright.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Well, let's talk to this girl.
Daily routine.
A giant morgue disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke now.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Well, let's do any personal. But before that, let's tell him about the men.
I have made
Not him.
inquiries
Tell
about
her
the men
about
who
the
were
men.
tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
Let's say it was a misunderstanding.
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind.
Oh, she gave me a water-rich blood sample. I mean, she has a 2, so I don't know, like... And you would give me a decent amount of experience. And I would like to drink your blood. But let's tell me about vampires.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Alright. So that said, you could be in danger.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
Yeah, alright. So she ran into a vampire, it seems.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games.
Ah, damn, I thought maybe the crazy woman would know something.
Pain.
Hello?
Good evening.
Evening.
Do you have anything new to say? Oh, here we go.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Alright, so he's playing into her delusions. Because he feels wanted. From someone.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Ah, alright.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Alright.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Alright, so if I were to, since that guy has a mesmerize level of 1, so if I ate him and did not eat her,
So many days.
maybe she would start, maybe she would kill someone else. That to me seems something that would happen. Let's see. There is someone. Not lady. Oh wait, there's someone unknown there. So I guess the guy she was talking to, giving, you know, the guy who was calling her an angel. I guess she. Oh. I guess he's the actual character. I thought he was just a, you know, a throwaway. Hello.
What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Let's say I have questions.
Dr. Swansea is quite busy, and I need you to help me get acclimated. I have many questions.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
Yes, do you like gossip?
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
I don't think she's the blackmailer. Let's say not about medical error.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores or whores. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Yes. And, okay, so I assume it is Pippa and Milton are the ones blackmailing.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
That's who I assume. Oh, but also, wait. I do want to talk to... oh god, where is that? No, not you two. Not Aykroyd. I guess we could talk to Pippa since she's here. So let's just talk to her first. I want to talk to the guy who made the
Good evening,
mistake.
Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have said the truth.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
I mean, I agree. I agree. But I don't think that's... The thing is, I think Pippa is...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Is like, I think Pippa and Milton are the ones who are behind this. That's what I think.
At least that mistress of the dark has stopped following you.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Okay, let's ask about hospital staff with criminal background.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I mean, it could be all the nurses are working together. It could be that.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
Let's ask him. Shady business in this hospital?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Goodbye, Milton.
Oh, here we go. Hello.
Is our little mystery closer to being solved?
I think of nothing else.
My situation.
Okay, I can't talk to that guy yet. Unless it's like bugged or something. Because I mean, it does look a little bit bugged. So I hope it's not important. Dorothy Crane. So I guess before I talk to Crane, I want to talk to the guy who's... There we go. Tippets. Tippets.
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Rumors of shady business. Let's talk about this medical error.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Let's ask who was he?
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks. Maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
Let's ask him about the mistake.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Alright, let's go back.
Corcoran, I want you...
He was my...
I mean, the thing is, I don't want to ask that, but I think this will lead to something.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed...
Yeah. Like, the thing is that I think we all have done shit. Let's say I'll cover for you.
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippets. By keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
I don't know what to say, actually. I can't exactly force you to become my accomplice.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe you're still of use to the hospital, considering the situation.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
I don't know. Like, if that's what you want to do, sure. But I don't think you should. You made a mistake. Like, let's see.
What will you do after your resignation? Do you have a plan?
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. Such a beautiful island.
That's
I could buy
a
a
good
house
plan.
there by the sea, read poetry, and wait for death.
Not a bad plan.
Have you heard of it?
I have no time.
Alright.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
So we actually got a lot of money from that. I wonder, can we talk to Swansea? Swansea, are you in? Hello? Just want to check. Do you have anything for me to take? Nope. Okay, let's talk.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
Let's ask questions.
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
Let's ask about William Bishop.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe. Was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
Let's ask where they come from.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Okay, so basically we don't know much about the difference.
I'm the one working for you. What should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand?
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years.
Stole.
We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
Oh, okay. That explains your wanderings.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Huh, alright.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings in the Penny Dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
Must I kill?
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
And will the sun destroy me? Yes, it will.
The sun? The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend.
But
You
there are things
have
that
been offered
can.
relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Oh, okay. I thought it would.
I have met Lady Ashbury.
She's a fascinating woman, wouldn't you agree?
Let's ask if she's the reason you recruit. You really try to help her. Is she the reason you try to recruit me?
Is she the true reason you recruited me? To work on her condition and addiction for blood. A part of me is thinking I've been played.
Lady Ashbury is a cherished friend of mine. I would not betray her secrets without her consent. Come to the rescue of a damsel in distress. I ask nothing more.
Alright. Should we even mention the blackmailer to him? Sure.
The matter of Lady Ashbury's blackmailer.
I know too much about this matter already. I'm confident in trusting the interests and reputation of both the hospital and Our Lady into your able hands.
Alright, goodbye.
We'll see.
Kinda wanted maybe you could tell me something about that? Oh, jeez. Ah, Dorothy, what are you doing out here? Press to activate your senses. If a citizen is behaving suspiciously, their heart will emit a distinctive glow. By looking at the citizen, you will unlock special interaction.
What must I do, say? What must I do? This isn't even my neighborhood.
Okay, here we go.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Huh. I guess I was wrong. Maybe the way this works is that whoever you talk to last, maybe they are the ones. Maybe they're the one who, you know, ends up being the blackmailer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, someone was slaughtered.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
By a bunch of skull. So was that the thug? Yeah, you can't breathe, but... Boom. There we go. You're down. Oh, a common barbed cudgel. A large wooden stick wrapped with barbed wire to tear the flesh, while it also crushes bones. Weapon ability parry. Okay, so this is a parry thing. And you get 3 stun with its attack. But it's a two-handed, yes. Huh, alright. Oh, it does 15 stun already, so... Weird that I can't upgrade it, even though it already says it's a common, right? Common. But I still need to upgrade it? Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, I can't upgrade them. I need a bench to upgrade. Of course, I'm stupid. Let's see, 116 versus... Yeah, but that's 530. 530. Yeah, you know what? Let's take that. Even though, I mean, I do get some blood points with that weapon, but that's fine. Boom, you're dead. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the guy who... His friend. Hello?
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Goodbye. Guess I could mesmerize him, but... no point. He does have a headache. Guess I had to run a little bit out of my way to help him, but... No. Oh, damn it. Alright. I thought I could just open the door, you know? I guess it allows me to go in and out of this place. So maybe this is kind of like, maybe like a fast travel thing. Because so far, I don't think there has been any way to fast travel. Which is not a good thing. It's not a positive. Boom. Hello? Oh, okay. So that seems to be the right way to go. The ban of the dragon. Concerning the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stool, I would advise our members to be very wary about these so-called scholars. Alright. Okay, we get some light regeneration serum. So where does this lead me? Ah, maybe nowhere. It's just to show me. Okay. Where to go. Oh god, I have to go to the bathroom again. Well, let's go to the bathroom. Okay, hello. Yeah, I just weighed myself after that and I was 103.8 kilos. So I've almost lost 3 kilos this month. Oh. Sorry, rats.
Thirst for blood.
This seems like a boss room. Oh, come on. Target him.
What creature is this?
Oh, we can bite them. Yeah, this weapon is so good. Having a stun is... I want to see if I could parry him. Oh, Jesus. Alright, bite. Oh, he resisted that attack. I really should use my gun. Yeah. Because I just saw he didn't have a resistance to that.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
If you're sick, if you have no money, whoever you are, wherever you're from, come see Dorothy to get help. No tricks, no charges, no questions asked. Just find Darius Petrusko house and present this coupon. Taka Suntje Polsnav si nu aveti bani. Is that Polish? Veniti la casa no, that's not Polish. Ah, it's in different languages. No, it's not. Venit la casa. That is not Polish. No. Aveti bani bolnav. The beginning sounds like, is it mixture of languages? Oh God.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Is she siphoning money from... let's see. From Pembroke to Whitechapel. Maybe she is. Well, Dorothy, you only have 2 mesmerize level. And you're looking very delicious right now.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Why not? Oh, damn it. I keep accidentally using that ability when I want to heal.
This is despicable.
Look lively! It's on
Oh, hello. Oh my God, yeah, this is nice.
That leech is fast! Filthy piece of shit!
Okay, let me... Oh, accidentally killed him. Okay, I'm really liking the weapon I have now. But... what I first want to do, actually... I know... Oh, you know what? No, let's go here. I mean, I'm close. Damn it. Oh my God. Yeah, the targeting system. Fuck. It still fucks you a lot. Hope I can get a stun on this guy. And then bite him. Damn it. There we go, get the bite then. Whew. Nice. Yeah, he's using that shadow attack. Whew. Oh, nice bites. Whew. Dr. Strickland's list. Lacrima, medical opium, and then those things.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Okay. Tell what happened. Okay, we can tell that. That guy is dead. And I probably need to heal, not heal, probably need to upgrade my heal. Oh shit, did not mean to do that. So let's see, can we... Yeah, we can get a free stun in. Okay, so we have 2 of 5, and we get 10, yes.
The dead. Peaceful and lost at the same time.
Alright, hello Rakeshid.
It's locked, all right.
I know something about you.
Such a pleasure to see you again.
So let's ask him a personal question. Nope. Maybe your life in London. Here we go. You were appointed as a medic.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir.
Alright.
Very hard, sir. But I rose to the challenge.
Well, he said he rose to the challenge, so let's see. I don't know, saying you should refuse. I'm like, if I would have been... I don't know, this is hard. Let's say you should have refused.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
Alright. You can't impersonate a doctor. Well, I mean, he did be he was a doctor, right? Like, what is a doctor other than taking care of people, you know?
Tell me the truth.
Yeah, but let's say that anyways, even though I don't care about this.
You're absolutely right, sir. Do you believe you have... My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Yeah, that even someone that was unexperienced like me could still do some of these surgeries that had to be done. Okay, so these are things that I can sell. I can sell his hatchet. The Prewan steak. I cannot sell. I can sell his wedding ring. Or maybe I'll keep the wedding ring because maybe I can give it back to that woman. We'll see.
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive and then...
It's locked, all right.
Managing a train terminal.
So it's kind of like I don't need the money yet, so I'll just keep a hold of things.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Your drug provider is gone.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Let's ask him about the secret tests.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague. But only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
Oh god. Oh god. Thorough medical skills have been questioned in the past. And the thing, he's doing it secretly. That's the thing. Let's ask him, why not take a break? He's gonna be a what? Break? We are, you know, in a pandemic. Let's, I don't know, don't want you have my support. Let's ask him, why not take a break? Damn it. Let's ask him that.
Don't you think we have enough work already? Perhaps now is not the best time to be chasing shadows.
Chasing shadows, really? It's funny those words coming from the only doctor here who has spent more time outside this hospital than in.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Damn,
I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Okay. So we're going for placebo.
I will not let you down, my boy.
I'm quite busy, right?
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
There we go. Yeah, I think I misjudged you a bit.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
What the fuck is happening here? Hello?
That was fast.
I'm afraid the trail of breadcrumbs leads beyond the hospital premises. I must leave for a time.
Is that so? Why?
Now it's time for you to be patient. It would seem that your blackmailer is part of a more complex machination whose root is in Whitechapel.
Machination? Do you suspect another immortal is involved?
Let's say it's possible. I'll say I don't know.
I have no idea, but I'm certain to know more when I return from Whitechapel.
Do be careful, my good doctor. When immortals are involved, the stakes tend to escalate quickly.
I'll return with case solved or carried on my shield.
Oh god, are we gonna pretend to be Spartans now?
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
And you know what, before we... There we go, let's see. I mean, I have 2,200 experience point to use, but I'm gonna wait. Dr. Swansea. I feel like I should have, and...
It's locked.
Oh, what, would I be able to get an ability or something to pick lock, maybe? Let's see. I mean, I think I want to prioritize the shotgun, actually. Common cudgel. Okay, let's see. Make it do even more stun damage. Or increase damage by 10%. I feel like the 10% is probably better. Pneumonia, sepsis, colds. Okay, we don't have anything to heal the cold. Oh, no way, we do. One, two, two. Okay, this is actually pretty easy to do. I'm confused. What? Oh, is it here?
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Okay, so it isn't here. It's right here. So the medication I make here is not... Okay. Alright. Go to Ackroyd or Strickland. I mean, Strickland... He's a fan of me, but... I think I agree with Ackroyd. He's doing the wrong thing here. So... I think I'm bringing it to Ackroyd. If I can find them. Here we go. Aykroyd. Oh wait. Damn, okay, there was something. I could have like... Oh, okay, oh, damn. They were talking about something.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And good evening to
Oh,
you, Dr.
wait,
Reed.
I thought I talked
Can
to
be of any help?
Aykroyd. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Oh, here's Aykroyd.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Let's ask him about his help.
I know that you're a busy man, but I could use your help and advice.
The great Dr. Reed honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland devised an experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation?
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Aykroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reed.
Alright. Key to doctor's office.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
In the doctor's office. Oh, it's actually down here? No, it's upstairs. Yeah, it has to be. Yes. I will say I'm really enjoying the game. It's actually a lot of fun. I don't know how it is as a let's play though. If anyone is watching this, tell me. Because I'm having a lot of fun playing it. And now we have access to the doctor's office. Miss M. Goswick medical file. The patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores on the throat, mouth and tongue, but no sign of flu. He refuses to speak, claims it's too painful, and needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision. So... Okay, they seem to be hiding something. Letter to Dr. Swansea. You know me, Edgar, I'm not against personal in blah blah blah. Okay. He's a bit like, I don't trust.
It's locked, all right.
She can do the job.
It's locked.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I don't have the master key to these things. Oh well.
Now that Dr. Aykroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula.
Give me sodium and all that stuff. Medical shit.
Damn. Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
Yeah, let's talk to you again. Hello. Nope, you don't want to talk?
Someone's poached my blanket. Oh, the cold will be my death.
Okay, I can't talk to you.
Hello again, Doctor. Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Okay, so we've actually done all of this. I just wonder, where are you, Oswald?
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
And I thought last summer's epidemic was difficult.
Okay, I probably can't talk to that guy while she's still there. So let's talk to you.
Good evening, Doctor.
Personal questions.
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
You know what? Let's say you have my support. Even though, I mean, you did lie about something, but let's say you have my support.
Have you heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK medical register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I just find it weird that she would say skin as well. I mean, for her, that is. Because, I mean, the first suffragettes were racists. Okay, let's see. So that's that. This is Whitechapel, isn't it? Yes. One out of 4. That's weird. I thought I found 2 things. So I wonder, do I want to go on like a healing spree? This guy seems to have 2 things. Anemia, 40% loss of blood quality. Yeah, I need to have mesmerize level 2 before I can even talk to her and all that. Yeah. So let's just do the main mission. Okay, let's walk in here. Okay. Don't remember if there was anything special in there. There we go. Nom 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 nom. Oh, damn it.
I'll send you back in a fucking grave!
Damn it. Okay, now bite him.
You'll pay for this, you ugly fucker!
Nice. Good job.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
I mean, I am hearing like a child crying. I assume it's just background noise. Let's just do that so that we have at least one of each thing. Oh wait, oh. Okay, well this is a good time for my batteries in my controller to die out. Good thing it happened now and not while I was in a fight. I will say one thing about this Xbox 360, when you try and remove, there we go, the batteries, it's actually pretty hard to get them out. Oh god. And I'm using rechargeables. So, and there comes 4 in a pack, so I'm gonna use the other 2 now. And while these... let's see. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be best to attack these guys.
There's one of them vermin!
Let me bite you. Okay, well they gave me a lead rod, so that's something good. Hello. I want you to chase me. Alright, and you guys can fight.
Die, vermin!
Oh, damn it. Your stupid fire attack. I still can't access that lock. That hideout, so... Too bad.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
So can I now access this hideout? What does it say? Hideout nearby.
I cannot enter.
No. Okay. Or maybe it's from here. Large box of pills. And 6 shotgun shells. Which I'm not actually using ranged weapons that much. Especially now when I have this weapon, I mean.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Oh.
Me, I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Ah, Albert Palmer. Let's give him treatment.
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Let's give him the medicine.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
And then, let's see. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane, but the man you were looking for is dead.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Let's say, you know the risk, or this is no freedom. Let's say, you know the risks.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Huh, alright. Let's see. Personal questions? Nothing. Your life here?
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Let's say maybe confused you someone else? Question mark? Oh, so you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Alright. Goodbye.
Goodbye, young man.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Sort of bloody joke to you, innit?
Hello?
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Let's see. He has a migraine. Alright.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
Let's say, have you no family? Oh, you mean you have?
You mean you
used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Well, I mean, you do have a son, right? Yeah, Albert Palmer.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife. Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Why did you shoot the boy?
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Well, no, they said these are barbaric methods.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
All right. Cadogan Bates.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Huh. All right. So that's what they're doing.
Gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. How are...
I'm not your...
Goodbye, young man.
Me, I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Okay, wait. There is... Oh, can you make custom player markers? Okay, I did not know that.
It's all a bloody joke to you, innit?
Hello, and who are you?
Good evening, miss.
Good
I
evening,
like the
sir.
flower.
Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Let's trade.
I'd like to see what kind of...
Opium, ergotamine, Swanborough cordial. With a list of ingredients printed in Latin. You know, let's sell the pre-one steak. And you know, we'll keep his hatchet. Could be useful. Oh, damn it. I wanted to buy.
Evening, my dear.
I wanted to buy this thing. I want to see what it is.
Good evening.
I mean, it's probably a scam, but I will have the money. Okay, nothing. Your life in London? Any intriguing local figures?
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Yeah, and your false hope, I guess.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
No, I think it is. I think she is working for... maybe not a vampire, but maybe like a werewolf or something. And they're sending, you know, people out to, you know, to get eaten.
Goodbye, Miss.
When science fails you.
And also stealing, you know, money and all that.
It's locked.
I can't open it from this side. Hello, Bates.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
He's like, yeah, I want my tenants to not be dead. And you know what?
Since I took an oath to help people...
Let's help him, even though
Can I
he's
be
a
of
landlord.
Well,
Even a
seen
landlord,
better days,
let's
that's
help
for
him.
Sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Give him the medicine. So he
Infecting
doesn't.
you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Well, Save your life in London. Let's ask him about the real reason you were attacked.
I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
That you really must stop now.
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is one thing, but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
Alright.
You seem to have recovered.
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare.
You'd better not come back here.
Yeah, it's like the next time I'm not saving you.
I'm looking
even
for
against
Dorothy
Skulls.
Crane. She's a nurse.
Dorothy Crane. Bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
Has she treated you?
No.
When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
Huh. And it's like, oh, this is a good time to try and make money. Even
What is
more
your
money.
business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Yeah, it's just like taking advantage of them. And I mean, he's all alone. So I mean, eating him probably wouldn't. Let's see. Oh god, they're always necessary evils. I mean, I don't think he would care if I go like, that you're so horrible. Let's say, and he knows he's taking advantage of them, so. Let's say they're always necessary evils.
I don't approve of your action.
A necessary...
Then the thing is, whatever happens to you is the necessary evil I'm talking about.
What help?
That's simple.
Mr.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good fat.
Oh, Jesus. Oh no, I just skipped because I thought I'd asked this question. Let's say you're despicable.
I'm no saint. But to take advantage as you do, you are a despicable man who could only prosper in these dark times.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, saved lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamborough shit.
Yeah.
Tell me.
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
Alright, goodbye.
Mr. Bates.
Two unknown people.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Alright. Let me in. Okay, goodbye.
All right.
I'm more interested in finding the... Oh, and there's a big blood puddle here. Obviously, to indicate that there's a safe house right there, but... Or not just to indicate that, maybe... Oh, okay. This is Harry Peterson. He has fatigue. And those two men outside.
It's locked, all right.
God damn it, what the fuck? Every single fucking... what's it called? Safe house is locked? Wait, what? Oh.
I should never have taken up my father's business. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Let's see what you have for sale.
Show me what you have.
Screws, glass vial, springs. Common trigger. Yeah, let's buy a common handle part. 2 common trigger parts. And why not some springs? Any offhand weapon. Something like that. Spend a lot of money on you.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your foe. How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Joe Peterson, okay. Your extortion put Barrett Lewis in a tough financial situation. And he looked pretty sinister.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Let's ask. Violence is increasing?
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever. Madness. Something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Huh.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Okay, so scowls, basically. Let's see. No, nothing here.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Huh. She's an excellent nurse.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Okay. So because she's giving out that for free, they're like, that bitch.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Hello.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling, but I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor, Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Okay, she has fatigue. Let's
Do you need
treat
any
her.
assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Let's get it for free.
That you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Now, let's ask her about her life.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Listen, your line of work has many health risks.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision.
Like she gives a fuck
But what
about the
your
clients.
If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Christina Popper. That's sure. I mean, I don't judge you.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Well, but Nurse
Do you know Nurse
Dorothy
Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
Okay, Romania.
Dorothea
So that
helps the
okay,
sick
so that's
people
the
of
language. It
Whitechapel.
was Romanian.
Everyone should respect that.
Makes sense then that why I would think it was like a mixture of like a Romance language and Slavic.
Do you know
you see Dorothy?
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
Oh, and you're a priest? Hello, father.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A
So-
scientist? You are much more lost
Like,
than I
father,
thought.
stay away from that child in the...
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
I've been touched by God's grace.
let's see. Personal life. I am more lost than you thought?
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I'm listening.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning.
And it came from
What do you mean?
China.
The beast is finally
Came to
revealing
China,
itself,
but it
corrupting the flesh
but it
and
spread
heart of
and
men.
boomed in
With my own
Spain.
eyes, I have seen them. Those minions
The
from
same
the abyss.
with the Russian flu, I think. It also started in China, but... what's your plan?
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
We must
What is
do it
left
by
of it?
Cleansing
praying.
fire.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so he's planning on burning everything down.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
But where do you put the limits?
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Damn, he has pretty strong mind.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
So basically just sent him just into like the thick of things.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke
For him
Hospital?
to just get
I'd like to know more
killed.
about her.
I don't like the
or
liberal
die.
ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate her?
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country.
Aha.
That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Alright.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
I have heard enough.
Okay, so my suspicion now with Dorothy is that she's trying to create like a communist revolution in the UK. Maybe she's like a spy. Okay, I do get some invulnerability frames when I use my bite attack. And I really should make my bite attack stronger, actually. I mean, I do use it a lot. Alright, a cigarette case. Some bullets. Free food.
Morbidity can breathe its own.
Okay. Yeah, and here's the guy he sent to preach. And he had a bottle of alcohol and some pills.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Oh, okay. Your life in London.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
Who will help you if you're in danger?
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Okay. He has a cold. I have a treatment for that.
It may be wise to let you prescribe.
Give the medicine.
And your appetite for work.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health, but I appreciate.
Alright, there we go.
May I ask what you're...
Not at all. I'm just...
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
Yeah.
If you say so.
But
as a
that's
physician,
not really true.
I must caution you to
I mean, poor people tend to have more other things wrong with them, a worse diet, and you know, so tend to affect them more.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy, but the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
let's say, a unique point of view.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you but this...
Okay, well, we already asked all of that. You seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, she's
she
mute.
Can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
The florist. So we know a few things about her. Oh. Is the muse of Richard. It's a locked mystery. She only has two things. Yeah, no, we have actually made 4 of these people are recovering. Migraine and fatigue.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Yeah, or will she?
And
Will the exoticism about her disappear?
How she survives, whom she may know.
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Oh. Editor refusal letter. Dear Mr. Nethercott, thank you for sending your book poem, Songs from the Defeated City. Yeah, they're like, we don't. He has never succeeded.
Good evening, Mr.
And good evening.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
I mean, a rich artist is rare.
When she was younger, my mother was a painter and a poet. She told me many times how poor her artist friends were, and how she helped them.
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they do not believe.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Huh. $3,000, that's nice.
I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, and we cannot use our vampire abilities. Well, we have people watching us. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Alright. Okay, so she's working with Dorothy. And we just saw her put another one there. Well, Camilla, will you speak?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Alright, let's say. Tell me about Richard.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
I mean, what can she say? Yeah.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Yeah, in the fact that... I wonder really... I know you work for Nurse Crane.
I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Goodbye.
Very well. Goodbye then.
You know what? Let's talk to him now. Again. And be like, do you know she's a communist?
Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion and despair.
Good evening, Mr. And good evening. Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Like, are you not curious?
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place...
Okay. Nothing new.
I'll leave you alone.
Okay, this is the Whitechapel Road. Is there only you here? Henry Kane is here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Finally, I got the bite in. It just took me way too many tries. Okay, he doesn't have any resistances. Fuck.
With me.
Okay, heal.
Stop Vampyr!
Boom.
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Oh, damn it. I did not mean to use up all my ammo. And he lowered our blood consumption. Okay, there's a skull right there. What? Oh, come on. My attack should have hit him first. Okay, he was protecting some common handle parts. Alright, nice. Good double kill.
This is despicable.
5 shillings. Follow me. Hello, you two.
He's dead! Oh, Christ!
Holy shit. Nom 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 nom. Whew. So I assume if they kill each other, I don't get any drops from them. Maybe.
can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh, it's this place. Okay. Nom nom nom. There we go. Got knocked out. A wool scarf. A beautiful and warm woolen scarf with a traditional Romanian pattern. Okay. So that probably... Oh, Jesus Christ. A large box of pills.
I have this thirst for blood.
Yes, we do. Ask Asper.
Hello again, miss.
Do you know anything about this? Nope.
Very.
Okay. I can hear skull noises. Oh, hello. Who are you?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Let's see. You're investigating London?
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Let's say my rationalism has been recently shaken.
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Alright, good. Let's see, what are you doing here after sunset?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth?
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Alright. And you're Christina Papa. And you have fatigue as well.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you.
Damn it.
I will see you later. Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you.
Okay, so I can still do that. Okay.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Yeah, but it's only logical
I
that
served
they know.
in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Yeah.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues...
That's quite...
Not at all.
Nothing, okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm cheap
Hello, Joe Peterson. Oh. It's loading.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I've played for almost 3 hours now.
Excuse me,
2
sir.
hours and 50 minutes.
I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
No, you didn't. But let's see, Joe, he is extorting some people. Let's ask about his life in London.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not
Because it's
familiar
poor.
with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Alright. You could have refused. But like you said, it's the only thing he can do. You're a criminal! He's like, no shit.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Huh. Oh, these are together. I thought this kid was this guy's son. But no, he's this guy's son. Okay. That does change things a little bit.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
And she was probably correct in that.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What's his story?
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Despair can be a
Without making
poison.
Excuses for him. It's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
Yes.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
Time to pay! 1-1. You again?
No, your wife. Okay. Okay.
Goodbye,
We did not. We're not getting any info from that. Well, let's talk to your son.
Hello, young man. It's me again.
I told you before.
All right.
God, what? I want to check. The son, he needed treatment for fatigue. Do I have that? I think I've given out all my. Fatigue or anemia. Okay, yeah, I still have one.
Hello, young man.
I told you before.
Let me in.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Let me just steal some stuff from you. Large box of pills.
It's locked, all right.
Damn. Job refusal. It's my duty to inform you of our refusal to accept your application for a job at the dockyard. I must thank you for the time spent at our office explaining the difficulty of your situation with your ill boy and the loss of your beloved wife, but it's also my duty to point out policy for our company, which expressively reproves the employment of former criminals or convicts. Your unfortunate connection with the ill-famed wet boot boys have been duly noted. Okay. So he's kind of like, he's trying to get, you know, other jobs, but oh. If you ever suspect someone to be a vampire, don't try to kill it yourself. You have no chance. Instead, contact me or try to inform the God of Priwen. Alright. And that was some information.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Like, I'm so depressed. But before that, let me heal you.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
Wait, what?
I
thought I had it. Okay, well.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Your situation can only improve. Your father did his best. I don't know. You have a place to call home. It's like, yeah, and this is it. This is the place I have to call home. Damn, it feels like you never have good options. Let's say you have a place to call home.
You have a roof over your head, a place to...
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
Why don't you just leave this place? How do you feel?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Yeah, like other humans. Do you see how they act with each other?
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities. But I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
You're blaming yourself.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then.
But my mother died.
Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died? Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
I don't know, maybe you are the son of him and your mother had an affair?
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Yeah, just go out.
Goodbye, young man.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
You again?
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. And people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak. And there's no way he'll
Jesus
endure
Christ.
disappointment.
Was that guy so short? Or did he, like, shrink?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else. Whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Goodbye, Mr.
Fancy buying something?
You never... What do you know of Harry Peterson?
Okay, no, they
The boy
don't have the
seems
same eye
so
color.
Fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye for now.
I mean, the thing is that I don't want to go in there yet. I really would like to, you know.
Science failed you. This elixir will give you faith again.
Wasted your life away.
We have a migraine, let's see. Can I heal your
Good evening.
migraine?
I'm afraid you don't seem well. Oh.
No, we don't.
A gun?
I'm not dying in a stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lammy.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
If only I could get into this hideout. If only. That would help a lot. But, oh, damn it, like... No, that did not autosave. Huh. I'm just trying to find like an autosave point or anything, like...
This is no place for you. Go away!
I know, no place for me, but not for you either. What the fuck is that guy doing? What is he doing? Oh, hello. Cigarette case and a ring. Quarantine.
I cannot enter.
Ah, damn it. Meant to bite him. A rogue skull. So this is probably where that preacher was sent. Would be my guess. Huh. There's a large beast. A large beast inside. I kind of wish this game also had a normal save feature. Like here, just save where you are, you know. Instead of just relying on auto-saving, because... well, I don't know how far back it will take me. Boom. There we go. Oh no, this one seemed to have been trying to hide. And not necessarily, you know, trying to kill anyone. It seems like they're trying to hide from these prying guys. Used hatchet.
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost.
Barrett. There's no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him. And then he will kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time. And then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, yeah, I wish you'd forgive me. Yeah, so I was correct. But not for this.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
So it wasn't for the reason I thought. But I think I'm gonna give it to Joe Peterson. I think he deserves to know, I mean. Like, you know, tough luck. The woman you were in love, she was, you know, fucking someone else. Oh, I thought I had used up some of my blood. Some bullets. Oh, a lot of watery, rich blood sample. You know, maybe I shouldn't use a shotgun here. I should switch to the regular pistol. Yeah, I assume that is all right here, finding the box. I mean, I guess it might, you know what, that's not too bad. It gives me an excuse to go back into, you know, Peterson's house. Because I'm pretty sure going into that house is gonna cause a autosave. I hope. Oh, hello, Joe. Maybe we should just talk to this guy first. I'm not gonna give him the case, but...
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your...
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Let's see. Is Harry your son?
Do you mean you're Harry's
father? No, yes, they do have similar eye color.
And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
Yeah, now when I look at his eye color, I'm like, yeah, that's how I thought first. But then when I talked to him again, it looked like he had brown eyes, but no.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Oh, what do you mean?
Right then.
Right then. Now, show me what you got. Let's sell these rings. Yeah, I mean, as long as they can be, you know. Hello?
You again?
Yeah, I want to see, do you know? No.
Goodbye, Miss. Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure.
Even my dreams
So let's see.
soaked with glue.
Did it autosave? I'm not sure. I can't see like the autosave
May I ask you a
logo.
few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Let's ask him. Do you know anything?
Do you remember when Barrett Lewis was close to your family? To your mother?
Not really. I was too young. But I remember it was a happier time. Mr. Lewis was funny. He often had dinner with us.
Why are you sad then?
Why are you sad then?
Because it hurts to remember a time when my father used to laugh and smile. It hurts to realise he's as sad as me now.
How was he towards you?
He was nice, I guess. He never forgot my birthday. He always offered me books. I liked books.
I mean, you look a lot like him. And yeah, those eyes.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering?
Yeah, but I'm gonna end this right here. And also, I'm gonna walk out. I hope that... autosaves. Gonna leave it right there, and then we're gonna find out. Well, you know what? No, fuck it. We're gonna find out now.
You again? What do you want this time?
Here, the content of this box may interest you.
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Ah, letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Alright. 25 shillings.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Alright, he actually didn't. I mean, kill you.
Fancy buying something?
You never... Goodbye.
Well, at least he got to know, you know, about the fact, like,
May I come in?
and he, like he said, he knew it this whole time, and pretty much, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it. I mean, when you look at this guy, and you look at the dad, and you look at the best friend, you're like, yeah, I mean, you got cucked. But, yeah, that's it for this recording session. I've recorded for 3 hours and 24 minutes. Jesus Christ. No wonder I feel like completely destroyed. This is way too much. But this game is really, really fun to me. I mean, I'm recording this in 60 FPS, which is horrific since I plan on editing this. So I will see how much I remove, I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of things going on. There isn't that much just dead time. Or maybe I won't fucking edit it, I don't know. I'm a bit on the like, oh god, do I just want to upload it like unedited because of the type of game this is? Or do I want to edit it? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the easiest for me would be to not edit at all, obviously. Just upload it the way it is. So, I don't know. I'm most likely gonna do that. We'll see. Goodbye.